Okay, and welcome to test route number 15. I chose to do this test route today specifically because of the difficulty of it. This one includes the Backford Dip hill start, which is quite difficult. So we're just leaving the test centre now, we're turning right. Something to be aware of, this road is really busy and sometimes it can take a while for cars to let you out. And then we're going to head straight up to the lights and then take a left. You'll see by the road markings and the barriers that you can only turn left in this lane. So we'll just wait here. I know it's hard to see, but the lights have changed and we're going to head up to the lights, as I said, and turn left. These are the barriers that I was speaking about. You can only go left in this lane. And you're going to want the right-hand lane. The left-hand lane, no matter where you go, the left-hand lane is only for the M56. So no route that you take will ever go on the motorway. You can see there on the markings M56 only, and then either a right turn or all the way back around the roundabout is the right hand lane. So we're going to take the third exit onto the left. The first exit is the motorway, second exit is no entry, and this is the third exit towards Queensferry. Not sure if you saw, but as we were entering the roundabout, the speed limit changed to national speed limit. So we're just going to get our speeds up. I know it might be a bit strange to be watching the route on a motorbike, but it's the same in a car, obviously. As I said, this is national speed limit, dual carriageway. And then we're going to go straight up to the lights, which is Parkgate Road. And then we're going to take a left at the traffic lights. So we want the left-hand lane at these lights. Observations, obviously. Mirror signal manoeuvre. And we're just going to wait here. These are filter lights, so you'll be able to see in a moment cars turning left will get their own left green arrow, and cars going right are being held by the red light. So left-hand lane, turning left. And we're going to stay in the left-hand lane and we're going to go straight across the roundabout. Observations, obviously, checking right, mirrors. And we're going to head round, indicate left, and head off down towards Chester. As you can see from that car just pulling out, there is a petrol station there, so just be aware as you come off that roundabout. This is Parkgate Road. This is a 50-mile-an-hour road, and we're going to be on it for quite a while. We do have some speed changes towards the end of this road. Just make sure you're paying attention to road signs. As you can see, we've got some hidden entrances coming up. and these are actually quite dangerous. There's a turning here that's coming up from Saughall to Parkgate Road. That is a dangerous road coming out from Saughall, and it's a stop sign. So if you are coming from Saughall up to Parkgate Road, there is a stop sign at the end there, and that is on some of the test routes. So especially on this road, that particular turning is quite dangerous. That's why it's a stop sign coming from Saughall. But even with that stop sign, especially in the dark, because as you can see, there's no lights on this road. So if you do happen to be driving down this road at night, that is a turning that you should always be aware of. But other than that, it is quite a nice road. Just be aware in the dark and in the rain, it can be quite dangerous. On this test route, you will actually be on Parkgate Road a couple of different times. You're going to do a big loop and you'll come out on this turning on the right coming up there. So you'll come back out and turn right back down Parkgate Road further on this test route. But for now, we're just going to stay on this route. Remember to observe the road signs, sharp bends coming up. And you can see we also have some roadworks here at the moment. So although it's a 50, I'd suggest you reduce your speed following the temporary road signals. Now this was filmed on a Sunday, so no work is actually being done in this field on the right hand side, but there are signs up. And again, we've got another sharp turn here, so just make sure you measure your speed properly and don't take those corners too fast. We're just going to continue down here, paying attention to the signposts as always, turnings and elderly people crossing as well potentially. There is an old people's home that we've just gone past, so you do often have pedestrians. And then we've also got a hotel here on the right hand side where cars often pull out, both there and a bit further down here on the right hand side as well. So just be aware of those potential hazards. Again, we've got some sharp bends, so just be aware. And we have some reduced speed signs from 50 down to 40 coming up just here, just before the bridge. So we now are entering a 40 zone. And then a little while further on, it will drop down to a 30. So we're just entering the outskirts of Chester. And just past that welcome to Chester sign, you'll see coming up, we have a speed change to 30 miles an hour. It's just coming up by this white road sign. And here you go, we're going to drop down to 30 miles an hour in just a moment. We're going to head straight to the roundabout, and we are taking the exit towards Sealand Road. So we're going to take the third exit, so we need the right hand lane because we're turning right. So the first exit is for the hospital, the second exit is to continue on Parkgate Road, and the third exit is slightly right up towards Sealand Road and Queens Ferry. This is quite a busy little roundabout, so just observe properly, wait until it's safe for you to continue. And here we go. So we're going to stay in the centre, and then we're going to indicate left here. This is the exit for Sealand Road. And you can see we are now going back up to a 40-mile-an-hour zone. And then we're just going to continue on this road up until the traffic lights. We're going to head to these traffic lights. We're going to have 3 lanes. Left hand lane is left and straight on. Middle lane is straight on. And the right hand lane is turn right towards Blacon. Now potentially this could have been a minor for lane discipline, but it does go into 1 lane on the opposite side. So it's not a major issue. And again, you can see we are still in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. So we're just going to wait for the crossroads to clear and then we will continue. And we're just going to start to prepare to move off. See, I'm getting my revs up, ready to set off. And away we go, straight across. And as you can see, you've got the arrows here, turning this into 1 lane. We're going to continue straight on. We're now almost on the Greyhound Retail Park. And we have another roundabout coming up. We're going to go straight across that roundabout. So we're going to stick in the left-hand lane because we're going to go straight across. Make sure it's safe to continue. Indicate before you turn. And it's this exit here, straight across from that one. And we're heading up to Sealand Road now. This is quite a pedestrianised area. There are traffic crossings. As you can see here, we're just about to have people cross. I saw them. I knew that they'd probably press the button, so I slowed down nice and early for them. We'll wait for the light to turn back to green again before we set off. And then we're going to head up to the next set of traffic lights and turn right. Turn right onto Sealand Road. 3 lanes again. The right hand lane is a right hand turn. So we're going to take that right hand lane. And if you were to go left here, you'd be heading towards Chester. And this is most likely the closest you will get to Chester. There are no routes that go through the centre. We're just going to wait here for these lights to change and then we're going to turn right onto Sealand Road. And here we go, our lights are green. So we're going to take it nice and easy, turn right onto Sealand Road. And again, this is 2 lanes, but the left-hand lane is straight on and the right-hand lane is turn right. So you want to make sure you swing out into the left-hand lane. Otherwise you'll be stuck behind this traffic queue going into the retail park. And we're going to continue up past Wicks's and past B&Q. Continue up Sealand Road. And we're going to stay on Sealand Road for quite a while until we get to the turn off for Saughall. At the moment I'm keeping it nice and slow, probably slower than I needed to, but you can see we've got elderly people crossing signs, and there are crossings at various places. There's also cycle routes on both sides of the road. And we're going to get to these traffic lights and we're going to go straight across. So the right hand lane to go straight across at these lights. Now we've got lookers on the right hand side. We're going to continue up past these lights, past the park and ride. There's a sharp bend coming up, just something for you to be aware of. There's a sharp bend here. Making sure to pay attention to those road signs. And we're going to have our first speed change back up to 40 miles an hour. Another sharp bend to the left, so make sure you're doing the appropriate speed. And often there's traffic here for cars turning right into Blacon. So there's a right hand turn here where cars tend to wait. But today it was nice and clear, so we're going to continue heading into Wales. And our speed is going to go up to 50 miles an hour now. We have average speed cameras, so be aware of that. And this is still Sealand Road, and we'll continue on this road until Saughall. And it will remain a 50 until we turn off to the right towards Saughall. Something else for you to be aware of, there is a petrol station here on the left, so you do see, as you can see, the car ahead of me is turning left into the petrol station. It's quite a sharp turn, so slow down nice and be aware of cars attempting to pull out from there as well. But other than that, there's not many hazards unless you get stuck behind a tractor or something along those lines. This is quite a nice straight road, and again it's 50 all the way until the next turn off. And we're going to be taking a right hand turn shortly, but we're going to continue up past 4 Golf up towards Saughall. Again, there's turnings on the left and the right. Just turn offs that you should be aware of. Then we've got traffic lights here. At these traffic lights we are turning right, so you want the right hand lane at these traffic lights. Nice early indication. Get into the right lane. Speed. And it's quite a sharp turn right here. Towards Saughall. We do have quite a lot of traffic here today. Obviously it's a Sunday, so there's lots of people in the church. So you will potentially have to move over onto the right hand side of the road. So just take it nice and slowly. And then there's a sharp bend here you can see. Take this one nice and slowly. But then we are in a 40, so once you've taken that corner, feel free to speed up a bit. We do have a humped bridge coming, so just be aware, don't take it too fast, otherwise you'll end up leaving the road potentially. And there is also a turn off to the right hand side. If you saw the sign there, there's some houses to the right here, so there may be traffic attempting to turn in or pull out. But again, this is a 40. Beware of pedestrians, because there is a football club here on the left hand side that people play football on. And obviously there's horses and that sort of thing as well. These are quite thin roads, and we're going to drop down to 30 now. Now the main issue with going through the centre of Saughall is going to be cars parked on your side of the road. As you can see here, we have a first car here. I'm just going to pull up, give this car coming through plenty of room. Just let this car pass, and then I'm going to pull up into the next one. Although there are cars parked, they are parked a lot of the time a nice distance apart, so you can still continue progressing. So I'm just going to take it easy, and I'm going to allow these two cars to come through. They do have the right of way after all. And another car coming through too. And one more. And one more for good luck. This is the main issue with going through Saughall. You will potentially have to give away quite a lot. And then as you get into the centre of Saughall, you'll start to have cars on both sides of the road, so you will have to move over. Make sure to take it nice and easy, just so if cars open their doors or if people come out from behind them. Now we're going to take this next turning right at this clock tower. Drops down to 20 here, so adjust your speed. And we're going to turn right here. This is a little bit of a housing estate, a little bit country road. So although it does go back up to 30 here, just be aware there are a lot of pedestrians. So just make sure your speed is appropriate for the road conditions. And we're going to continue on this road and head back up towards Parkgate Road. Again, just be aware of cars on your side. Make sure you take it nice and easy, and just be aware of other cars oncoming. Take it slowly and make sure you move back over with plenty of time. But again, this is a 30. You can see I'm doing about 25 at this point. And then we're going to turn left here. Now this is the housing estate part of this route. This is very likely where you're going to be asked to pull up on the left or the right. You're going to be asked to do various manoeuvres. This is the most likely area for that on this route. And this is a 20 zone, so make sure your speed is appropriate again. You can see there's lots of activity, bikes and people, and luckily there's not a lot of road traffic, and even if there is cars parked on the side, they do seem to give you plenty of room, which is nice. That'll be very likely somewhere along here you'll be asked to pull up, either on the right or the left. But obviously we're not actually on a test today, so I'm just showing you the route itself. More pedestrians, more potential hazards. Just make sure your speed matches the road conditions. We're going to head up to the end of this road here where that white car has just come from, and we're going to turn right. Now I do come to a complete stop here just because there are cars parked. You will see as I turn there are cars parked on both the left and right sides, so just to make sure I took it nice and easy. I'm then going to head up, slow down for this car, continue heading up towards Parkgate Road again, staying at the speed limit. We're going to turn left at this green. Make sure to do your observations early, because you can see straight away across to the end of this green, so you can see if there are cars coming. You see there's lots of cars parked on the left hand side and it's quite busy, so ideally there will be no oncoming cars, but just be aware that there may be. And then we get to the end here where this church is, and then we're going to turn right. We're still in a 20 zone at this current moment, but as soon as we turn we're back onto a faster road. We're going to turn right here, and we've got a speed change coming up to 30 miles an hour here. It's nice and clear, so I'm going to get to the top end of that speed limit. Although there are cars and there are people, it's quite a clear road, so I'm not that concerned. We're going to turn right here at this little play park, and again this is a prime location for pull up on the right or the left. I would slow down if I were you, as you can see by my speed, although it did go up to a 30. I'm just matching my speed to the conditions. This is a little bit of a country lane, so although it does go up to national speed limit right here, I would suggest you take it easy. It can be quite a tight road, and you will see shortly that oncoming traffic does happen, and if you're not paying attention it can cause issues. They're not tight bends here. You can see that car there was going quite fast, so just make sure you are taking this nice and easy. And again, although this is a national speed limit, I am matching my speed to what I feel comfortable on these roads doing. Got a sharp left bend here, so I'm going to slow right down. See, it's nice and clear, and then I can open it back up. Get up towards the higher end of that national speed limit. Being aware at all times of potential for pedestrians and cars pulling out of turnings. And this is that turning that we spoke about a little while ago when we were on Parkgate Road the first time. This is that turning that we passed. So we're going to turn right at this turning. The giveaway sign, and it is a 50 from here. So when you do pull out onto this road, make sure you do increase your speed to match the flow of traffic, because it is quite a fast road, as I said before. Just wait until it's clear and then head off and get your speed up to an appropriate for the flow of traffic. So again, this is a 50-mile-an-hour zone now. And we're going to go past those temporary traffic works that were going on. The signs, you can see them coming up on the left-hand side here. And we've got our sharp bends again. So again, make sure your speed matches the road conditions. And watch out for any of these site access signs to the right-hand side here. This field on the right, remember, as I said, there's work being done there at the moment. And then another sharp bend to the right. We're going to continue on this road for a little way. And then we're going to take this left-hand turning. Again, national speed limit road, but match your speed to the road conditions that you're on. And there's a weird little a Y junction here, so we're going to take the left-hand side and we're going to go left. Pay attention to the giveaway signs. Make sure you look over, and we're in a 30-mile-an-hour zone again. So just pay attention to the road markings as well as the speed signs. And we're going to now head up towards that hill start that I spoke about at the beginning. Again, I'm doing about 25 miles an hour. I don't want to go too fast around here because although it is nice and open, you can see it is quite wiggly windy, so it can be quite daunting, especially if there's oncoming cars, so just make sure your speed is appropriate. We're going to turn right here at this wall. Now I'm going to give you some hints and tips like my driving instructor gave me when I was learning this route in a car. I'm just going to hang back to let that car through. And we're going to continue on. Again, make sure you're paying attention to road markings and signs, making sure that the speed you're doing is appropriate. As you can see, we've got a left-hand bend and a school zone on the left here, and we also have some temporary traffic roadworks going on. So just reduce your speed. I would reduce your speed generally on this road. On the left-hand side, there are quite a lot of things that jut out partially into the road, and although it now is saying 40, I would just take that with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Although this is 2 lanes, it does get smaller a bit further up ahead. But we're just going to continue for now. So first off, we go down into this valley and then head up towards this White House, and then we will do another dip after the White House. See, this has gone into a single lane. We've lost our road markings, so just keep to the left and slow down as the road says. And again, it's 40, but Just make sure you're being safe. Get some helpful roadworks going on at the moment. And you can see over this hedge to see if there are cars coming, which I did, and I saw this car. You can see there's one of those signs sticking out into the road. So just reduce your speed. And we're going to get down here and we're going to go up a hill. And this is where the hill start begins. So my advice from my instructor was get down to about second gear when you are level with this black building on the right hand side. And you can see we're going to go up and it's a sharp left turn. So reduce your speed. And then we're going to head up to this dual carriageway. Get as close to the top as you can. Now you can't see it from this view, but to the right hand side where the oncoming traffic is coming from, this is a 50-mile-an-hour road. This is a really busy road. You want to make sure that the road is safe. There's a dip, so the cars disappear down this dip. So you can't necessarily always see them coming, so just be really careful on this. And because it's a 50, we want to make sure that when you're pulling away, you're matching your speed as quickly as possible. Remembering, when you're on that hill, keep your handbrake on, get the revs up, and then be ready to pull away. That is the most dangerous part of this route, which is why I wanted to do this route today and show you what it actually looks like. If you haven't done the Backford Dip hill start, then I would suggest you ask your instructor. We're going to go straight across at these lights. I'm giving this cyclist plenty of room, but it is 50. And we're going to continue straight through these green lights. And we're going to head up towards the strawberry roundabouts. Now this is 2 lanes here. As I said, this is a 50-mile-an-hour road. But you'll see a bridge coming up, and when you see the bridge, this road turns from 2 lanes into 1 lane. So just on the opposite side of this upcoming bridge, you'll see our road markings disappear. You've got the signs there saying this becomes a 1-lane road, and there's your arrow to get over. Just make sure you do so safely. And we're going to head up to this strawberry roundabout. And we're going to go into the left-hand lane, because we're going to turn left back down towards the test centre. Yeah, as I was saying, if you haven't done your hill start, then this is definitely a route that I would encourage you to get your instructor to take you on. So we've got 3 lanes again. Left-hand lane is turn left, middle lane is straight on, right-hand lane is turn right. Just going to slot in nicely behind these cars. So if you are unlucky enough to get this test route, this is quite a long test route compared to some of the others. And that hill start is a little bit of a killer. I think the majority of the rest of the route is okay, but if you are a bit anxious about hill starts, then it's definitely something to make sure you take in. So we're back on that 50-mile-an-hour road, heading back towards the test centre. And I'm just being aware of what's going on ahead of me. We can see the brake lights. So I'm just going to slow my speed down because I can see there's a queue of traffic. That queue of traffic will be to turn into where the test centre is, because there's a Costco there, which is what a lot of that traffic was when we were trying to come out of the test centre. I'm just going to try and keep the bike going. Just playing that game of trying to see if I can keep the bike moving, keep the vehicle moving, so I don't have to continually accelerate to pull away. And you can see that sign there on the left as we just passed, saying Chester Gates, turn left, and that is going back onto the test centre. The left hand turn is at the traffic lights up ahead. I'm just going to continue to try to keep the bike moving. The traffic is really slow, so I do have to give up here, unfortunately. But it was a nice run while it lasted. And I'm just going to wait for these lights to turn before the traffic moves off again. And we've got our amber and our green light, so the traffic should start moving, and away we go. We're coming in back to the test centre on the opposite side of the road, so you can see those bollards, those barriers are there. So we're just going to turn back left down past Booker's, and the test centre is back the first left here by this to let sign. You can see that long queue of traffic coming out of Costco, and we're just going to head into the test centre. Now if you were doing a test, you'll turn here and you'll head down to the parking bays at the end, past that red car, but obviously today I'm not doing a test, so I'm just going to pull up here, reverse back into my parking space, and there you have it, test route 15. One of the more technically complex test routes, I'd argue. Lots of speed changes and obviously that hill start.